Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Yasa and I'm a violinist. I moved from St. Petersburg, Russia to United States, Florida almost 10 years ago now. And I started this channel in pandemic to share with you my story, my joys and struggles, and maybe give you some interesting information on both my countries, Russia and United States, and also on the life of a violinist and musician in United States. I wanted to make videos about beautiful cities in Russia, and I already did so when I posted a video on St. Petersburg, the city where I was born and where I grew up. But I know that just now Moscow actually received an award as the most beautiful capital of the world for tourists, and my mom told me about that, so I can't really quote what award is it exactly, but I believe that Moscow really deserves it, because I visited Moscow a year and a half ago, and I was just stunned how beautiful Moscow was, and just so different from what I remembered. Now you need to know that St. Petersburg and Moscow, we always in rivalry, we always battle for the position of a capital, because at some point Moscow was capital, then St. Petersburg, then it went back to Moscow, and we pride ourselves on being a very intelligent, very intellectual, and call ourselves cultural capital of Russia, but Moscow is still a capital. And I remember being there more than 10 years ago. I was competing at the all-state Russian chamber music competition, and I got one of the awards, and it was a great time. I remember going around and seeing all the museums and going to theaters. Even at the time of the competition, I found time to do that. But I remember being impressed, but what I've seen a year and a half ago, was absolutely mind-blowing, because I think after the soccer World Cup that we had a couple of years ago, I think they really cleaned up a lot. They removed all unnecessary clutter, all unnecessary little stores, you know, those kind of movable pieces that always clutter the city. New York can't be imagined without hot dog stations, right? And without smoothie stations and all the souvenirs in the Times Square. So they removed all of that in Moscow. So now it's really clean and beautiful, because it's big spaces and you can see beautiful perspectives. There's so much money put into it, because you can see decorations everywhere. New Year is an amazing time to visit Moscow, because they have lights and decorative decorations on basically all the building in the center of the city. So many Christmas trees. It's just, if you Google the pictures, it's just a fantasy. It looks a little bit like Disney World, really it does, and it's a whole city, modern part, historical part of it, the center of the city. Summer, of course, the best time, because it's warm and you can just enjoy the weather, and all the coffee shops everywhere, and just strolling in the center of the city can take you hours, but it's worth it. You can just stroll without, like what I did past summer. I was strolling in the center without any basically destination, and everywhere I looked was beautiful, and everywhere I looked was a coffee shop where I could get a delicious coffee and just stroll around. It was wonderful, really, it was. And what you should do in Moscow, of course, you should visit all the museums. We have Tretyakovsky Gallery, Pushkin Gallery. Those are big painting museums, paintings with art from Russia and all over the world, and it's a huge collections that they have. Really impressive. And of course you should go to Kremlin, the center of the city, and see the history where all the tsars were crowned. So many tourists standing in line to see. Actually, we have a body of Lenin mummified and laying there in Kremlin, and standing in line to get there to see him. I always wanted to see him just as an, because it's so unusual, right? It's unbelievable for me that there is a still person laying there, and I think they still cut his nails every week or so. I think it keeps growing. I can't attest to that, but I think some weird fact like that I read a while ago. And standing in line to get there, I heard on international talk, and many students from actually United States were visiting or being English teachers abroad, and they were standing in line and for hours when we were waiting. I was listening to their conversations. It's hard to see this guy, okay, because I ended up not seeing him again because they close really early. I think they close it at 1 p.m. or even earlier, 12, which is weird, right? And even standing for more than an hour in line, they just had to let us all go because, it's closed and that's it. No one else is being let to enter. And oh well, I guess next time, Lenin. And this city has so much history. It has so many theaters. Theater is on every basically corner, and it's just wonderful. The theater tradition in Russia is something to really be admired because it's goes in history to 19th century, starting with Stanislavski and Chekhov, and a lot of Hollywood actors know Mikhail Chekhov, who emigrated to the United States, and he also were teaching a lot of actors here. So they know that school of Russian acting, and it's famous and it's appreciated and really recognized. I know I'm very passionate about it because my parents are actors. My mom is a theater director. My dad is an actor. So I grew up in a theater. That's why I always go whenever I have a chance. Whenever I visit, I go every night, basically. Well, what can you do besides museums, coffee shops, theaters? Even though if you don't understand the language, you should go see an opera or ballet. I'm much more ballet person. Opera is great too, but ballet is my favorite. And anything you can see ballet in Russia would be good and up to standards, because we have also a very strong ballet school known in the world. And also a lot of modern groups, and very modern and very forward-thinking, and with a lot of visionary and symbolism. And I really enjoy those kind of directings when it's not only dance and quality and high technique, but also visual effects, also meaning behind it, also interesting new storytelling and compositions, and just beautiful new choreography. So my advice, really look for ballet or an opera production, and during summer you easily can find many of those. And let's see, what else can you do? I guess your day will be pretty full. Oh, take a boat ride. I remember I took a boat ride and it's not as probably elaborate as in St. Petersburg, where we have many small channels and canals. I'm sorry, I always confuse channel and canal. My apologies. So canals, it's a big river in Moscow, but the views are still pretty impressive. And visit the churches. The churches are free to visit, and they open, and it's a different Christian religion. It's a Christian Orthodox. So I'm sure you will be impressed by all the icons, all the gold, all the choir singing. So in Orthodox religion, there are no instruments, there are only choirs, but choirs are a must, and it's a very big foundation and big tradition in our history and our culture and our religion, choir singing. So it's something beautiful, something interesting, something different that you will definitely enjoy seeing. And just know that the service goes in a way that you are going to stand. We don't have seats. You can always find a seat at the side or at the back because of, if you're elderly or you're sick. But technically, you're supposed to stand throughout the entire service. So my friend was complaining about it. So that's how I noticed the difference. Please visit Moscow. It just got an award of one of the best, or even the best of this year, capital for tourists to visit. Please know that a lot of things have been translated to English, and all the signs, all the directions, all the street names, at least in the center, are in English. So you will know You will have no problems getting around and finding your way. And one of the transportations in Russia, which is definitely worth visiting, is subway. And in Moscow, it's I believe, now I'm not sure if it's an oldest subway in the world. I think someone told me it must be London, but definitely the most beautiful, because they really were building to overtop everyone. And when you go to subway station, you all of a sudden are in the palace, in the Grand Palace, with columns and statues, maybe even fountains. And subway in Moscow just overwhelmingly beautiful. And all the new stations they are building are very creative. They build a lot of new stations spreading out because city is growing. We have lots of immigrants coming, and just a general population from small cities, of course, are drawn to a capital, right? So we have a vast growing net of new stations of subways in Moscow, and they are really creative with nice design, bright colors. Every station is different. So this is like a separate tour just to go visit many subway stations in Moscow metro. It's pretty interesting sight to see. Happy travels. Let's dream at least. Maybe next year we'll be able to do it. And stay safe, everyone. Much love. Please like and subscribe as always, and see you in the next video. Have a great day. Пока.